Welcome to game number 3 between Wam and Scarlet Devil. Today we are on Front Range. If you're not accustomed to play or even watch tournament games, you will not know this map. This map is very unique. Front Range is inspired by the Colorado mountain range, Rocky Mountains. And it's one of the maps for King of the Rockies, a land coming up soon, which I'm also playing in. And Wam is also playing in it. And Scarlet Devil actually qualified for it, but wasn't able to get a visa since he's from China. So let's take a look at the map first, before we talk more about our players and the matchup. So on this map, you spawn with only 4 sheep around your base and your 5 starter sheep. So you have a total of 9 sheep. And so most players will scout around their base, get the sheep. Then you have this small deer pack, and then you have these deer packs that have 5 deers in them, which is also not very much. And there are 5 of these. One in the middle, one close to the player base, and then there's one with 7 up here. You can see that there is 2 gold veins here. One of 1600 and another one here of 1600 gold. And then you actually got to go all the way up into these mountain ranges to excavate more gold. So you got 1 4K, and the rest of these are actually 1600. So you can kind of see all of the food is in the bottom of the map, and all of the gold is in the top of the map, which gives sort of a natural development for players to go and play the early game out in the bottom 40% of the map, and the late game out in the top section here. So pretty cool. We got, of course, 5 relics and the sacred sites and a trade post up here in the north. So, yeah, very complicated map to play. It is usually very focused on aggression early. So either people play civilizations that are really good at that and they eat the map resources by having map control, or they play civilizations like English that can sit in the base and chill. So, pretty interesting matchup here. I think when you look at these 2 civilizations, Ottomans and English, you want to probably often play 2 towns in there with English, but I've also seen players go for the boar opener. That's also something you can go for. And then go for council hall aggression, maybe even go white tower, start producing out of it. But other players will also just go 2 town center, rely on farms, and at some point your opponent's going to run out of food and you are not, and that's when English gets to be really, really strong on this map. Ottomans, on the other hand, have a lot of, passive things that they can get through. They have stuff like the sheep vizier point here, the Anatolian Hills, giving an extra 10 sheep, so that's 2,000 more food. You have berries from your minaret madras, which is an incredibly fast gather rate. Overall, both of these civilizations are very good for front range. So, let's talk about our players. So this is the 3rd match between Wam and Scarlet Devil. If you didn't watch the other 2 games, they're up on my channel, already released. You can go and watch them and catch up on what happened before this. This is game number 3. It is currently 1-1 between the 2. And Wam, ranked 3 in the world, up against Scarlet Devil, ranked 28. Not very closely matched, you would say, but this is a best of 3, and best of 3s are brutal. Best of 3s often leading into upsets, since it doesn't take more than just 2 losses, a couple of mistakes, and all of a sudden, it's game over. And then you have lost the whole set. So, best of 5s, more forgiving. Often the better player will come out on top, as there is more room to make mistakes, and you will usually make fewer of them. But in a situation like this, you can have surprises, you can have, strats hidden that you then show. And it doesn't take much. All of a sudden, you lose a best of 3. And that's where players like Scarlet Devil can come in and surprise you. Scarlet Devil, he's actually not, going for a very big surprise, strat here. Nothing too much out of the ordinary. This is just a standard 2 town center opener. Got these guys here on wood. He's got the stone outcropping. He can put the second TC on gold here, or maybe he puts it down here and then pulls the boar in, and then he gets stone, relic, wood, berries on it. This is the big berry patch as well. This is another unique thing about this map is there's a starter berry patch with 6, and then on the map there's 8, another 8 spawn here. So there's actually insane amount of food if you are a berry civ. So that is perhaps something to consider as well. Though none of these civilizations actually have a orchard bonus like Abbasid, Ayyubid, Delhi, Delhi, etc. Oh, a little mix there of Delhi and etc. at the same time. Yeah. So, military school, stable. The minaret, of course, with 4 villagers on it, just to keep that going constantly, no idle time. And you got the lumber camp, Now I'm curious to what the strat of Wam will be here. I'm assuming it's going to just be a standard fast castle with a couple of Sipahi to deal with the king. This can of course be played around with a bit for Scarlet Devil. Either you play for the map resources and then you make a couple of units, a couple of spears to deal with the Sipahi. Did I say Gauzy Raiders? I meant Sipahi. I always mix those up for some reason. Or you can take the other approach, which is to go fast farms. I think Scarlet Devil is definitely a player that will opt to go fast farms here instead and just try to get the fastest white tower timing that he can. Not have to go out on the map and try to contest. So, you know, that's one approach. Certainly is an option to go out on the map here. There's a lot of berries and a lot of deer in the bottom, so if he does secure that, maybe waltz it in, you know, then it's a really good situation. But for now, it's just going to be the king. The Gauzy Raiders, sorry, the Sipahi, they can't heal at the moment until the first Vizier point is out, the field work, granting 2 imams. Be a pretty competitive Vizier point to go for when you want to deal with the king, but I reckon that he's going to go for the Anatolian Hills just simply due to the fact that it's giving him more mining speed. He actually goes for the imam. So, the imams will heal him up when he fights against the king, so even if the king manages to dish out a bunch of damage here, the Sipahi can get healed up again. Field healing being so strong. This is also an AoE heal when you go for the field work here. So it increases to heals nearby units for 1 health every second, and this becomes 2 health per second in H3, and then 3 health per second in H4. So a very, very strong Vizier point that scales throughout the ages, whereas the other ones, not so much. The meta one is really fast. You can get some of the fastest moving units in the game. And of course the sheep, 10 sheep is nice. And the 15 gather speed on mining camps, not really too significant for most situations. Although there is definitely some situations where you want sheep. He makes Gauzy Raiders. Has double military school. He's out in the deer. And now he's going Castle Age. So a little bit of a different approach. Some people will go for just the stable and then Castle Age. But that's quite vulnerable if the English player goes for a couple of spears. So as we can see here, just drop the barrack. He's got 2 mills almost fully covered with farms. So he's got a nice food income as well. Let's switch it around. Let's see, he has 600 food per minute. And Wam has 650 food per minute. Actually pretty much neck and neck here. Same food income. Just Wam sitting on 250, 240 gold per minute here and 170 wood. Whereas Scarlet Devil hasn't really started the gold collection just yet. So, Scarlet Devil going to be stuck in feudal for a little bit longer, whereas Wam seems to be able to go Castle Age. Makes sense with the imams as well. Able to pick up the relics immediately upon entering H3. Wam with the map control. Now, the danger here for Wam is the longer the game goes, the higher the likelihood of him getting eco outscaled will be. So he's going to have to rely on military skills, the production speed from the blacksmith, potentially having to go H4. He's going to have to do, you know, a lot of good raiding, maybe even try to take out the second town center or gold starve Scarlet Devil before he can really do anything here. The second town center, if he just leaves it be, it's not going to be any fun. He's going to be behind economically, and that's a pretty big problem in this matchup. You can't just survive as Ottomans and try to get H4 all the time, because the English will keep up. They will get that second town center, they'll scale, and even if they don't get all the relics or just get 1 or maybe 0 relics, you know, it's still fine because they have maybe 40 villagers more than you. So it's a tough one to play out. You have to be a very, you know, keen player in order to execute Ottomans versus English 2 town center. Often it's going to be centered around sacred sites, but on this map it can be pretty tough because the sacred sites, they're close to the bases. You can say there's only 2 sacred sites, but this one is so far away that if you have to rotate units all the way up here, that's going to take a long time, and your opponent can abuse that. By trying to decap this one, they might pull all of your units and then they attack you in the bottom. So you have to really know what you're doing here if you want to go for sacred site victory. Plus, it's kind of all in. Relics, so imams are already on them, so he's able to just take the relics immediately upon reaching H3. But as you can see, Scarlet Devil is almost going H3 himself. So it's a pretty fast timing overall. This is what we see with English all the time. He's able to get about 8 minutes and 30 seconds. H3, he will start it there if he doesn't go for farms. But by going farms, having 2 full mills here with farms, 10 minutes, that's pretty damn good. He'll most likely go for White Tower here. I don't expect him to go King's Palace. If he goes White Tower, That's going to be pretty decent for him. Ooh, he almost got the body block here. He's losing a couple of bills from this. He's going to go White Tower most likely. He's not aging up yet. I don't know why. I guess he's a little bit distracted here. White Tower's dropped down, protecting the front. Yeah, that's a fine place. Maybe you would want to drop it down here, secure the gold, but that's also very finite amount of gold here. So, White Tower goes up. And we enter Age 3. White Tower is being constructed with 20 bills here, so he knows that there's the danger of having only 4 spears and the king. Dealing with Ottomans, who is going to have a bunch of more units. No mosque up yet for Wam. He hasn't dropped the relics either, which he probably should do. Okay, so he's speed building the mosque. He wants to get the income immediately. That's a good play. Most people will probably just drop the relics and then go for the relics on the map to get 4 relics into the base as quickly as possible. So these 2 imams here, idling a little bit. He's going for another raid here on the left side. Now notice, these we haven't talked about these POIs, these abandoned outposts. These grant permanent line of sight as long as they're captured. So as we can see here, right now, you can see his vision increases. So when he moves away from these, they will still grant him vision. So that's a really, really good sort of tactical advantage that you have here. As your opponent runs out of gold in their base, they will have to move north into the mountains to get gold. And you see this if you have the abandoned outpost. And then you just pull your units, you go and raid the opponent. So, really, really crucial to have these abandoned outposts captured if you want to be the aggressor. Because you have this timing on the gold bills. So now, first gold ran out for Scarlet Devil. He's on the second one. He's moving with these villagers somewhere. I think he might have clicked the wood line. Yeah, he clicked the back tree here. So they're moving onto the back side here, and that's going to be a lot of idle time from moving back and forth. Needs to build a lump camp here if he wants to do that. But yeah, that's just a small misclick. The MIA is producing mangonels. Now moving on to the berries. Triple relic has been secured. And taking the top sites. I think he wanted to, but the healer is auto-healing here. He has to press the stand ground button. So it's just not getting that quite just yet. So a little bit of an issue here for Wam that he's not able to take the site immediately. When you're playing against English, you want to take the sacred sites as quickly as possible. If you don't do that, you know, you're on a timer that's ticking quite fast. The English Teuton Center pays off, and all of a sudden, you're fighting a very uphill battle against a lot of army. And if you don't have the sacred site victory condition, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. The moment they hit Imperial Age, they have enclosures, right, granting gold on their farms. They have, you know, is it 11 ranged armor on their mana arms? So yeah. Now we have the sacred sites. Relics have been taken. Is this a 5 relic game? It is. You'll take this relic as well, although there are spears coming. A potential 5 relic game here is very scary. That's a lot of resources in Imperial. Remember, Tithe Barns gives an additional amount of resources per relic. And that's gonna be a lot of extra villagers equivalent. Spears take out the Imam in the top. But units are moving up there. These are not counter units though. The Janissaries and crossbows with the faster attack speed will probably be able to take out these spears and they can be healed up. Just requires a little bit of micro if you don't want to lose any units. Scarlet Devil, of course, hasn't been on any blacksmiths just yet, so he's going for this double blacksmith in the Castle Age. Actually a really good move. It's something that you absolutely see all the time. When people go for fast castles, Clash comes in here. When people go for fast castles, they often go, you know, 2 stables, 3 archer ranges, and then they add 2 blacksmiths as well. So, secures the top side. Sacred sites are still ticking, although there was a lot of idle time there on the sacred side. Man, these Sipahi here, they're going to take a lot of damage. Of course, with the network of castles here, he doesn't have the network of citadels just yet, giving him the 30% attack speed. But he does have the, of course, inherent 20% bonus. And this Mangonel is out of position. Yeah, so that's going to be damage again on the Sipahi. I don't think he can afford that right now. He needs to get his units together and then maybe wall the top side or something. Because he's going to start facing more and more units from the English as the English players' economy is starting to take off. So he needs to take a lot of good engagements here at this point in the game. Because there's a long way to go until that sacred side victory. 9 minutes. Berries still being gathered. We haven't seen that Wham special yet of the farms being set up early on. But I would assume that would happen here pretty soon, as he's gonna up to play for a longer Castle Age. See the units now moving out to take the abandoned outpost, maybe? Farms in the back, of course. So this is a lot of farms. This is a really nice income for Scarlet Devil. Remember, farms, every age, they scale. So he's getting 30% increased harvest rate on the farms right now. The POIs now being captured. This means that Wham will not be able to see directly when the vills move out of the base for the gold. He's running out of gold. He has 500 gold left in his main gold vein here. And then he has to move for the top side. Wham already with the raiders here. But they're spears, and this is not a good trade for him, as there are more units coming through the stealth force, which he does not see through. He has the scout, and all of a sudden longbows show up. That's a lot of damage taken. Now Wham also moving up in this top side here. He's not going to go for the middle deer, he's going to go for the top deer instead. There are more deer here, of course, but right now this is untouched by Scarlet Devil and can be a really good source of income. Man at Arms now moving in the middle. No upgrades just yet. So throughout this entire series, it seems the Scarlet Devil has just been quite forgetful of upgrades overall. Scarlet Devil's economy is 3k already. 3k income compared to 1.8 from Wham. Per minute, mind you. So this is extreme amounts of resources that he's already getting 17 minutes into the game. I'm fearful for Wham that he will not be able to keep up with this, even with military schools pumping. Keep in mind the blacksmith give 30% production rate on these military schools, so they're certainly faster. But the problem is, he needs to run some anti-armor units while also dealing with the spears, and if he runs crossbows, Janissary, and Sipahi, while that's a very high DPS composition, if there are 35 spears coming at you, you don't do bonus damage. So I'm a little bit afraid that this is gonna be quite tough for Wham. Spears are easy spammable. They have extra attack speed because of the networks as castles, giving us a 20% attack speed. Longbows, of course. Is he gonna get the decap here? There's no units. They're all in the top side. This is what we talked about. You're gonna get the diversion on the top side. Just a little raid up here. All the units are pulled up here. And now the middle is being decapped. If this gets decapped, this game might be over. Because if he doesn't win this engagement now, his victory condition is gone. Scarlet Devil will be 40 villagers ahead. Even if this is like a 50-50 engagement, that's so much better for Scarlet Devil than it is for Wham. Crossbows, Janissaries, spears, all going down to the longbows because that's just a direct counter unit. Janissaries take extra damage. The crossbows very weak on the ranged armor. Sipahi is trying to take out the longbows here. Spears come in. He's lost a lot of Sipahis at this point. There's also Ram here taking out these fortified outposts. Ram goes down. Longbows still with that increased attack speed due to this tower in the back. So this fight here looking kind of even, although maybe not as good for Scarlet Devil. I'm very impressed with Wham here, actually able to keep the sacred site. I was not expecting that. But I think much of it comes from him not having the +2 upgrades. He doesn't have the +2 upgrades. He does have the men at arm upgrades, so men at arms are very strong right now. But with 2.4k food income and 600 wood income, and just now getting access to the gold, Scarlet Devil is going to be able to go for a round 2, where Wham, I'm not sure he's able to keep up. He does have 3 mangonels, pops the Great Bombard. That's a big damage dealer. Gotta remember. This unit here does 400 versus buildings, 480 versus ship, 120 versus infantry, and 55 versus 55 baseline. And this is siege damage. I think Scarlet Devil should definitely max out here before he goes for the next fight. If he doesn't max out and takes another bad fight, Wham's gonna have it in the back. The Sacred Side victory will be 100% through. But if he maxes out, he's gonna be able to overwhelm Wham, who's not gonna be able to do so. He just doesn't have the economy to do so. He's at 132 versus 165. Now, some of these units are more trashy than the units of Wham. Certainly not as high army value, as you can see down here in the bottom left side. But still, just the sheer amount of units will be able to spread out the damage output of Wham's high-quality units. This great bombard creeping forward here. Is he gonna lose it? It's so slow. Okay, he doesn't lose it. He maybe would have if he just sent it here. But it's also a little bit of a bait, right? Keep in mind, Janissaries can repair the Great Bombard. Our fight comes in here. There's 3 rams. So he definitely wanted to attack anyways. Great Bombard not being body blocked here, so that goes down. Now, there's not going to be a second one, because that was the Vizier point. This fight here, I don't understand why Wham is fighting. You cannot fight. You have the Sacred Sites. Just wait for your opponent. I guess Wham was trying to take a fight while he was still technically ahead in army value before the numbers got too big. Which certainly makes sense, but the way he did it here, just not able to trade efficiently at all. And I guess the Rams maybe also took a lot of the damage. Not sure about that. Keeps the Sacred Site a little while longer. His economy's half of what Scarlet Devil is. Look at this, 114 bills against 66. Yeah, this doesn't look good now. Rams coming in for the second outpost. Only Janissaries, and they're just going to be taken down by the longbows. Spy come in. Trying to take out the Rams, but it's too late. Now the archers are being produced. Is the decap going to come through? Spies are running away. They're not going to be able to go on the site. A few more spy come on now. 3.5 minutes of this looks nearly impossible to me. And there is the decap. So the decap is through. And what does this mean for Wham? Well, it means that he has probably one way out of this. And that is to get keeps up and running, protect his military schools, and get H4. But the food is running out. We've got almost no farms. See, we've got that one farm transition here. That one mill that we saw in the previous games as well. But look at this. How are you going to fight against this? He's just going to go H4. And then you know those 11 man at arms are going to just flood your base. But honestly, Scarlet Devil could also just send it here instead of giving him that breathing room. He has the Rams already. He has lots of trashy units. He's making the trebuchets now, so he's definitely going to go for it. This is prime English gaming right now. 2 town center, absolutely popping off. Now, he lost a couple of vills here down at the bottom off of the raids. But that's fine, he's still at 110. His income is very strong. The network castle still hasn't got the networks of citadels just yet. But this fight here will probably be rather decent. Longbows need to snipe out the Springles. Man-at-arms and Spearman are just attack moved here. This is a very high damage output coming out of Wham. You can't underestimate the attack speed that the meta buff gives. Now, he's not even getting that. Wait, he is getting attack speed bonus? Is there a double application here? I think there is. No, there isn't. So the +2 ranged armor is coming through. But he's not getting the ranged armor from the second meta. He's getting the attack speed from the first meta. Not too great of a fight for Scarlet Devil. Has to consolidate. Go back. Max out again. Wham's just been at this low unit count for such a long time. But then again, the longer the game goes, the more Wham's going to be able to catch up. Because Scarlet Devil already has the eco that he wants to. So for Wham to just get to the same level. It's going to take an additional 10 minutes for 30 more vills. The question is, does he have an additional 10 minutes here? I don't think so. Scarlet Devil is sending it with the units. Scarlet Devil. Let's see. How many units does he have? Colors are going to change here. I'm sorry. 7 barracks, 2 rangers. He needs to get more, right? If you look at Wam, he's on 3 stables, 4 rangers, 1 workshop, 4 military schools, and the MIA. So he has way more production. Now it is cheaper, but it's only 10 wood cheaper to make production buildings. They cost 90, whereas well, actually that's more than 10, of course. That's 60. So 90 resources to make barrack or archer range, whereas for the English it's 150. But that shouldn't be a problem right now. He has so much economy, Scarlet Devil. Did lose access to the mosque here, so he's gonna have to move the relics into a new one. And that's 5 relics, right? So that's still a pretty decent economy coming from those relics. But it's not tithe barns, right? He doesn't get that extra 90 resource income. Raid in the top side by Wam. That's just manages to stop this tower being created, and oh no, Wam. He sees that, but he hasn't walled it. There is a gap here, which is not usual. Usually there's no gap. There's usually more like a gap here. But this wall here is pretty insignificant, because you can just go around. Wam, going for the raid. But Scarlet Devil, he's going H4. Wam, also opting to go for H4, being given way too much breathing room. Scarlet Devil not pushing his advantage too much. Now he is maxed out now. Got a lot of economy, but not a lot of gold. So will he be able to get the upgrades that he needs for his units? Or should he maybe just have sent it here in the Castle Age? I feel like this game was pretty much over for Wam when he lost the Sacred Sites. But Scarlet Devil, he was just not going for it. Wall coming through, fight coming through here in the middle. 8 ranged armor on these Castle Age man-at-arms. Still just networks of castles. Wham, getting more farms through now. Military schools, of course, siege workshop. So this is looking better and better for Wham. Give it 5 more minutes, and an Imperial Age with the Istanbul Observatory. The military schools will carry. You will have the income from the tithe barns. And all of a sudden, I would say this looks a lot better for Wham. He has all the springles to deal with the melee units, of which there are about 70 melee units. 65, 70. Not enough longbows to kill all these springles. So, tough one. Now, Scarlet Devil, he's getting his spearman upgrade. He's getting his elite upgrade on his man-at-arms as well. He's not gotten all of his blacksmith upgrades yet. If he gets those, his man-at-arms are going to be absolutely cranking here. So, a little bit of a upgraded advantage here. He's got the tech advantage, man-at-arms, spears, but will they be able to fight all these springles? I doubt it. Doing some good damage here. There's range units. Wham now hitting Imperials. This is prime time to attack with this tech advantage. He's got a lot of infantry on these springles here. And the springles are shooting not in the right direction. So he's going to lose them. Longbows do get taken out by the Spahi in the back though. Sipai from the back now. Again, this is one of those fights where it's like Wham will lose all of his units, but Scarlet Devil can replenish immediately. Springles finally able to get some good shots here. Still they get taken out. Still 5 Springles on the field here and an additional 3 somewhere. Yeah, here. So there are now 6 Springles left. This was... I'm not so sure. Again, it's about the follow-up attack. All of the time when we talk about Imperial Age, we talk about, okay, we can make a lot of units, we're maxed out. But when we lose those initial units, how fast can we get our next batch of units out? Scarlet Devil, he has all these units in queue. But let's check the production again. He only has 7 racks and 2 archer ranges. So he's definitely looking to just only spam melee. But with all these resources banked, and of course all these units that are now sitting, waiting to be produced, it's not going to be very fast. Look at this. 4 man-at-arms. Now they do produce faster. It's going to take a whole minute. It would be better if he had more production. And that's why he's not able to follow up with a quick enough attack and really press his advantage. And therefore giving Wham enough time to maybe even win this. So production, it's so important to scale that. Berkshire, lead army tactics coming through. Lead army tactics will give him 15% extra HP and 15% extra damage on his units. Enclosures coming through now. Now this was a technology that's been heavily delayed. And it probably shouldn't have been, considering that he's had a low gold income in Imperial Age for the entirety of the game. Now, pushing the front here. Attacks happening here in the middle of the mountain range by the entrance. Attacks happening in the base of Wam. Got men-at-arms, the spears. More of them coming through. Finally, it seems that Scarlet Devil is able to max out without having to suffer from his production lines. Spear's just running after these Sipahi. Now, Sipahi H4, they have a lot of... they're kind of like a mix, like an in-between thing between horsemen and knights. 220 HP, 18 damage. Very low damage, but very high range. And of course, the movement speed in between there, 175, which is 162 for knights normally, and 188 for horsemen. So they kind of occupy this middle ground. Springle's positioned nicely here in the back. This is beautiful positioning. Sipahi body blocking. These Springles here will be absolutely shredding these melee units. But the question is, are there too many melee units now? Networks the Citadels coming through with the extra 30% attack speed. Springles doing their best. They have a high melee armor as well, as you can see. But it's not high enough. And it seems it's not going to go Wham's way. Finally, Scarlet Devil is able to break through. A great bombard pops out. Probably not going to survive very long. Takes out one spearman and goes down. That's good value right there. More Springles from the top side here. He's been making them, but he didn't get the Springled upgrade either, and that is GG. Putting Scarlet Devil 2-1 in a best of 3 against Wam. Scarlet Devil, remember, he's ranked 28. Wam is rank 3. Just goes to show you how brutal these best of 3s are. If you've enjoyed this casted series, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know if you'd like to see more of these kinds of games covered on this YouTube channel. And maybe there'll be more games coming up, especially during the DLC. I'd really like to just get some games out to you guys. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.